In this video, you'll learn how to enter and approve labor time cards. We'll start by talking about how pay rates for employee time are established. When you enter labor time cards, Sage Construction Management determines the hourly cost, burden, and bill rates using a hierarchy. If a labor craft code is specified on the time card entry, the system uses the cost and bill rates specified on the labor craft code. Rates for labor craft codes are not specific to employees. They're specific to projects, and we'll look at how to set these up in just a moment. If no labor craft code is specified, the system looks to the employee's profile to find any project-specific pay rates for the project. These rates are specific to employees and projects, not to labor craft codes or other projects the employee works on. If no applicable project-specific rates are found on the employee's profile, the system uses the standard pay rates defined on the employee's profile. These standard pay rates are specific to the employee, not to labor craft codes or projects. Note that all Sage Construction Management security roles allow users to enter labor time cards. However, only the administrator or financial administrator roles allow you to approve time cards. Before you enter labor time cards, you'll need to have several areas already set up. Payroll items must be established in settings, as well as any workers' compensation codes you'll use. You'll learn more about these settings in the video on HR and equipment settings. Employees must be set up with standard payroll items and default rates. If standardized union rates or prevailing wage rates are applicable, you can use labor craft code items to establish the base rates, burden rates, and bill rates to be used on time cards. On the HR overview page, open the labor craft code list. Click a labor item to open it, and scroll to the project-specific time card rates. Add the union or prevailing wage rates specific to the project. Remember that any project-specific rates established for the craft code are first in the hierarchy, so if they are present, the system uses these rates for time entered. By the way, note that you can also enter default and location-specific estimating hours and rates. These are only for project estimates and are not used on time cards. The project must be set up, and the prime contract must be approved with a status date. You must also have the project cost codes set up so you can select them on time card entries. In this first example, we'll enter an employee time card manually. From the project homepage, click Time and Expenses. Next to Labor Time Cards, click the Actions button, and notice that you can enter time cards for a single employee either daily or weekly, or you can enter crew time cards. We'll add an individual daily time card. In the time card header area, select the date and the employee to which the time card applies. You can select Copy Entry for Next and enter a number of days to create duplicates of this time card for multiple days. Notice that you can create up to 5 entries, each with a different project, prime contract, job cost code, and billable status. In the first entry column, the project is selected for you. If the project has only one approved prime contract, that is also selected. If a change order or work order applies, select those. If applicable, select the labor craft code for the entry. The only options you'll see in this list are those labor codes that have project-specific payroll rates for this project. If you don't select a labor code, the system uses the rates established in the employee's profile to determine the cost and bill rates. The payroll item, job cost code, and number of hours are required for each timecard entry. You can select a worker's compensation code, if applicable. The billable status is applicable on cost-plus prime contracts, and the selection is billable by default. On cost-plus prime contracts with or without GMP, approved timecard entries marked as billable can be imported into prime invoices. Unbillable and on-hold entries cannot be imported, nor can billable entries that have not yet been approved. The billable status is not applicable to fixed lump sum or unit price contracts. The mileage entry is used only for reporting purposes and does not affect the project costs. We'll fill in a second column as well, and this time we won't assign a labor code. Click Add and New to add a new timecard, or Add and Close if you're finished. In the Labor Timecards list, a separate timecard is created for each project, prime contract, and job cost code you entered. In this example, we entered time for 2 different job cost codes, so 2 timecards were created. The first entry had a labor code assigned, brick, so the cost and bill rates were pulled from the project-specific timecard rates on the labor code. The second entry did not have a labor code assigned, so the project-specific payroll rate on the employee's setup was used. Timecards are always saved as pending. Before we approve these, let's look at how to import labor timecards, and then we'll approve them all at once. We entered the first timecard manually by going to the project homepage's Time and Expenses area. But importing labor timecards from a spreadsheet is a more efficient way to generate these entries. In order to import timecards, you need to initiate the process from the HR module, not from the project homepage. We'll look at that. But first, let's find the spreadsheet template. Go to the Help Center and click Getting Started. Click the Import options from Microsoft Excel topic and scroll to Time and Miscellaneous Expenses to find the Labor Timecards topic. You'll see the instructions, a link to a template, and a table showing the fields to use. When you've prepared your spreadsheet, return to the HR module. To the right of Labor Timecards, click the Actions button, and notice that you have more options in this list than you have on the project homepage. Select Import Labor Timecards from Excel. Click Choose File, and select the file to import. Now that we've entered all of our timecards, we'll need to approve them. From the HR Overview page, to the right of Labor Timecards, click the Actions button, and select Approve Labor Timecards. Select the timecards you want to approve, and then click Choose Bulk Actions. You have several bulk actions you can take on all of the selected timecards, including locking or unlocking them, changing the date or copying to a new date, changing the billable status, or applying different rates. We'll select Approve Timecards and click Save. In this video, you learned how to enter and approve labor timecards.